Hi, I'm Tucci Ivowi, international business leader, author, strategic advisor, your host. Welcome to the Smarter Leadership Podcast. There comes a point in every career, every business, and every personal journey where what got you here won't get you there. The strategies, habits, and mindsets that once worked so well begin to feel outdated. It's like clinging to last season's playbook in a game that has already changed its rules. Think of the companies that once dominated. Kodak, Nokia, Blockbuster, there's a long list. Or the leader who refuses to update their style, wondering why their once effective approach no longer inspires. The world is moving, it's shifting, reinventing itself, and the question becomes, are you moving with it or are you left behind? Reinvention isn't just about survival. It's about thriving in uncertainty, seizing new opportunities, and keeping yourself relevant, fresh, and impactful. It's an art, and like all art, it takes both courage and creativity. So let me share with you 12 lessons on the art of reinvention. 1. Accept the need for change. Reinvention begins when you stop defending the old and start embracing the new. It requires humility, admitting that your old playbook won't win the next game. Arnold Schwarzenegger started as a bodybuilder, dominating Mr. Olympia titles, but he knew muscles alone had an expiration date. He reinvented himself into a Hollywood action star, despite a heavy accent and producers telling him his name was too strange. Later, he pivoted again, becoming the governor of California. His career shows that accepting change isn't about abandoning identity, but expanding it. Reinvention begins where one chapter naturally closes. Recognize when your current role has peaked and prepare to evolve before the world forces you to. Yesterday's tools can't solve tomorrow's problems. Lesson 2. Stay curious. Curiosity is the lifeblood of reinvention. Those who keep asking questions discover new worlds to play in. Rihanna could have stayed a global pop star. Instead, she asked, what's next? Her curiosity about beauty and fashion led to Fenty Beauty, a brand that has completely disrupted the industry by making inclusivity the norm and not the exception. Today, she's a billionaire, not just because of music, but because she stayed curious enough to explore another industry. Curiosity leads to new opportunities. Reinvention often begins with asking, what else is possible for me? Curiosity is the antidote to irrelevance. Lesson 3. Don't get trapped by yesterday's wins. Past success can be the biggest enemy of future relevance. It's easy to polish old trophy while the world moves on. Madonna is often called the queen of reinvention. From her provocative 80s pop persona to her spiritual ray of light era to her reinventions through fashion, music, and even business, she has never allowed herself to be defined by one moment. By refusing to rest on her past image, she stayed culturally relevant across 4 decades and inspired many coming after her to push their own boundaries. Success should be a launch pad, not a time warp. Reinventors don't idolize yesterday, they reimagine tomorrow. Success can seduce you into stagnation. Lesson 4. Listen to the world around you. The world gives signals before it transforms. Those who tune in early spot reinvention opportunities that others miss. Jay-Z listened carefully to shifts in culture and industry. When music sales started declining, he didn't cling to old revenue models. Instead, he created Rock Nation, invested in streaming with Tidal, and became a billionaire entrepreneur. His ear wasn't just tuned to music, but to the business of music. The world whispers before it shouts. Reinvention starts with paying attention to the quiet signals of change. The future belongs to those who hear it first. Lesson 5. Build a growth mindset. Reinvention requires the courage to fail forward. Without the willingness to learn and start over, no one truly reinvents. Vera Wang was a competitive figure skater who didn't make the Olympics. She pivoted into fashion journalism, then into design. At 40, she launched her bridal line, becoming one of the most influential designers in the world. Her willingness to start again, and again made her a reinvention icon. Reinvention is built on a growth mindset. Every rejection is redirection. Failure is feedback, not the finish line. Lesson 6, embrace strategic risk. Reinvention always demands risk. The safe route may protect today, but it rarely creates tomorrow. Elon Musk could have retired after PayPal. Instead, he risked everything to build Tesla and SpaceX, ventures that many predicted would fail. By embracing risk, he didn't just reinvent himself, he reinvented industries. Reinvention is not reckless risk, but bold strategic leaps into the unknown. The biggest risk is refusing to take one. Lesson 7, leverage your core strengths. Reinvention isn't abandoning yourself, it's evolving from your essence. Lady Gaga's core strength has always been performance and artistry. She reinvented herself from wild pop icon in meat dresses to jazz singer alongside Tony Bennett to award-winning actress in A Star Is Born. Each reinvention was new, yet always anchored in her artistry. Reinvention works best when you evolve around your core identity, not away from it. Change the method, never the essence. Lesson 8, surround yourself with fresh voices. The environment you choose determines the ideas you create. Serena Williams didn't just stay within tennis circles. She surrounded herself with entrepreneurs, investors, and fashion experts, which helped her reinvent into a businesswoman, investor, and cultural icon beyond sports. Reinvention requires new voices that challenge and stretch you. Fresh voices create fresh vision. Lesson 9, tell a new story. Reinvention isn't just about doing new things. It's about crafting a new narrative that tells the world who you've become. Mo Ibrahim, the Sudanese-British billionaire, after founding Celtel and transforming African telecommunications, he didn't stop there. He reinvented himself as a champion for governance in Africa through the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. From businessman to statesman builder, his story changed, and so did his influence. Reinvention begins with rewriting your story. Lesson 10, invest in renewal. Reinvention requires energy. Without rhythms of rest and renewal, you run out of the fuel needed for creativity. After 8 years as First Lady, Michelle Obama paused before re-entering the spotlight. She invested in reflection, writing, and rest, and came back stronger with her book Becoming, global speaking tours, and a new identity as an advocate and author. Renewal fuels reinvention. You can't create a new version of yourself if you're burnt out. Rest is not escape, it is strategy. Lesson 11, be patient with the process. Reinvention is rarely instant, it's iterative, like sculpting, chipping away until the new form emerges. Martha Stewart went from model to stockbroker to homemaking guru to prisoner, and then back to cultural relevance as a TV personality, cookbook author, and Snoop Dogg's unlikely business partner. Instead of clinging to her old image, she read the culture. When hip-hop and youth culture surged, she partnered with Snoop Dogg. It seemed outrageous at the time, but it worked. They created a cooking show and a wine brand together, as well as partnering on other ventures. And don't miss this point, Snoop Dogg himself reinvented too. From gangster rapper to football coach for kids to cannabis mogul for the pharma industry to cookbook author to kids edutainment and family-friendly personality. Each reinvention took time, setbacks, and of course, patience. Reinvention is a journey of chapters, not an overnight event. Reinvention is a marathon of sprints, you could say. Lesson 12, anchor in purpose. The reinventions that last are rooted in purpose, not trends. Nelson Mandela's life was a reinvention story. From lawyer to activist to prisoner to reconciler to president. Through it all, his reinvention was grounded in one constant, his purpose, freedom and dignity for his people. But his methods evolved. At one time, it meant armed resistance. At another, forgiveness and nation building. Without purpose, reinvention is shallow. With purpose, it becomes transformational. Purpose is the compass of reinvention. let me share with you a few practical action points for reinvention. Instead of scattered tips, here's a playbook you can use. First, maybe undertake a reinvention audit. Write down the areas of your life where you feel stale. Then ask, if I was starting today, would I still do this the same way? Second, build a curiosity calendar. Pick one new skill, trend, or perspective to explore each month. Treat it as non-negotiable. 3, reframe failure. Every time you fail, label it as a prototype. Document the lesson, not just the pain. 4, look at doing a risk map. Identify one area where you're playing it safe and ask, what's the boldest version of me here? 5, narrative reset. Rewrite your personal story. Make it reflect where you're going, not just where you've been. Look at your bio. 6, energy rituals. Build rhythms of rest and reflection into your schedule, because without fuel, reinvention stalls. 7, look at having a fresh circle. Intentionally connect with 3 people outside your usual orbit every quarter. New worlds stretch your own. And 8, look at reinvention sprints. Break your reinvention goal into phases. Small wins build momentum. The world won't wait for you to catch up. Reinvention is no longer optional. It's your competitive advantage. So start now. Choose one area of your life, take one bold step, and commit to becoming the next version of yourself. Remember, reinvention doesn't mean discarding who you are. It means updating, reimagining, and re-expressing yourself for a new season. When you master the art of reinvention, you don't just stay relevant, you stay impactful. On an upcoming episode, we'll be speaking with some of our African leaders on the various ways they've reinvented themselves. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure not to miss it or any of our other discussions with great leaders. Thank you for being part of our journey.